Welcome to a brand new episode of Go. We are at Spruce Grove Composite High School today for a very interesting game of Eat the Donut blindfolded off the measuring tape. Oh, this is funny. All of the students here, well, the real reason they're here is not to eat donuts. They are here today. They are here today because we are participating in a 12-hour bike-a-thon for the Alberta Cancer Foundation. The students are raising money for a cause that's very close to their heart. And on today's show, we're going to introduce you to a young student who's battled cancer and survived, lost his leg at the age of 9, and is now here being supported by his entire school. I've got girls with glazed donuts all over their faces. But we're also going to be learning about Coombs Crew in memory of Helen Coombe, a teacher who touched every student in this room. It's donut chaos right now. Okay, we've got some students who have eaten their donuts. Here you go. Why don't you take this? There you are. There's your prize. Okay, so let's take a walk over here for a moment. Oh, someone just flicked icing sugar on me. Okay, this is where all the students are biking. Now that the fun part of that game is over, everyone's going to get back on their bikes, and we're going to learn about what the plan is to raise money for the Alberta Cancer Foundation. But before any of that, up first, Sean TV's Jen McDonald introduces us to this ancient food preparation process. Okay, the donut champion round is just about to begin, but coming up in a moment, we're going to be speaking with Cheryl Jereniak, coming out 3, 2. The donut champion round is just about to come up. I'm no longer in the thick of it because we are going to track down Cheryl Jereniak of the school and chat with her about this entire project in just a moment. But first, in this week's Road to Hope preview, we travel to northern Alberta to take a closer look at the physical journey one takes when bettering their well-being. You can catch Road to Hope weeknights on Shaw TV at 8:30 p.m. We are now joined with Cheryl Jereniak with Spruce Grove Composite High School for your annual Bike-a-Thon. You are raising money today for a very special cause. Who have you chosen to raise money for and why?
We've chosen the Alberta Cancer Foundation, and that money that we raise is going to go to the Cross Clinic so that the money we raise stays here in the province. We chose it last year as our charity because we lost one of our dear staff members to cancer, and that was the charity that she always liked to donate to. So that was in memory of Helen Coombs, and we've decided to just continue that. They've been wonderful to work with, and it's nice to know that our dollars stay here in the province where anybody suffering from cancer is going to be seeing the Cross Cancer Institute.
What can you tell us about Helen?
Helen was a wonderful social studies teacher, very, very passionate teacher. And she has a team dedicated to her. They're in the back corner there called Coombs Crew.
Okay.
And so they're the social studies department and a few students as well.
And these were students that were taught by Helen?
They were, yes. A lot of our grade 12s had her last year for their diploma courses, and so they came out in full force and are now in post-secondary, and a lot of them have passed social studies because of Helen.
What does it mean to the students to come together for this 12-hour event, get out of the classroom, the camaraderie, the energy, the spirit of just working together for such a great cause? This obviously means a lot to everyone in the room.
It does, and I think every student is doing it for a particular reason, whether it's because they've lost a grandparent. We have had a girl in our group that lost her mother this year to cancer. So they all have a special spot because somebody that they know and love is either battling the disease or they may have lost them. Fortunately, we have a lot of good stories. One of our students, he was a guest speaker this morning, Britton McMullen, he lost his leg to cancer. He had the same cancer as Terry Fox. He's here on his own special bike, so you got to get a shot of him.
We're going to talk to him?
Absolutely, yes. And he's actually got his bike customized so that the crank works with his artificial leg as well. So Yeah, so we have some really great stories. Lots of people who are cancer survivors are here, staff, students, and then of course their family members.
Well, Cheryl, thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome.
Stay tuned.
Thank
We have
you.
lots coming up after the break. Welcome back to the show. If you're just tuning in now, once again, we are on location at Spruce Grove Composite High School for their Bike-a-Thon. All of the students in the gym today are raising money for the Alberta Cancer Foundation, and there are some very heartwarming stories in the room, including Britton's here. We're going to be chatting with Britton in just a moment coming up. But if you look at his legs, you'll notice that this one is artificial, and if you could pedal for us, Britton, give us some pedaling. The small crank is actually fixed to the side of his shoe so that the one leg doesn't have to go around as far as the opposite foot. And Britton's going to share his story. He is a cancer survivor. He lost his leg when he was only 9 years old, and he has big dreams for himself as he gets to the graduation phase of high school. We're going to be chatting with Britton in just a moment. Stay tuned for that. But first, St. Michael's Extended Care is being recognized for changing the lives of their residents. And from here, we head behind the scenes at the Edmonton International Airport with volunteer reporter Kendra Kincaid. I explained it earlier, but now Britton is going to tell us in his own words, how is your prosthetic leg working with the bike?
Right now, it's on top of the pedal, and the crank, it sort of only does half of a loop while the other half goes up. And it makes it a lot easier for me to bike because I have to use less of the effort with that leg, so I can concentrate more on my other leg. And it also makes it so that my range of motion works a lot better.
Are there other sports you can play that your leg easily adapts to with different components?
Yes, definitely. I can play almost any sport that I wanted to, even like hockey if I said I wanted to, for example.
Excellent, excellent. You've been growing up with a prosthetic leg since you were 9 years old. What happened when you were 9?
When I was 9 years old, I was diagnosed with cancer, osteosarcoma in my left leg, and I had to undergo treatment for about 11 months, and I had a surgery in the meantime.
And they removed your leg just from above the knee?
Yes, it was a special amputation where they kept the foot of my leg, turned it around, and now it's acting as a knee. That's how I'm able to pedal with the bike.
What has it been like since you were 9 years old? Now you're grade 11, 17, 16, 17, growing up with a prosthetic leg.
It's been a little bit hard. The further on I get, it becomes a lot easier, but definitely near the very beginning, it was very difficult in order to adapt to things.
What was the most challenging part for you?
I think the most challenging part, aside from learning to walk and things, would be actually driving a car. Because even though I don't drive a manual, it's still difficult because the foot gets in the way of everything. So.
Gotcha. Well, you are almost at that age where you're going to say bye-bye high school and move on to bigger and better things. And you were telling me off camera that you want to be a quantum physicist. What draws you to quantum physics?
I am very passionate about space and science and many things of the sort.
Okay.
So I'd love to one day be able to discover more new theories and more new interesting ideas about everything.
You told me you're interested in black holes.
Yes, I'm interested in those, and I'm thinking that it would be very interesting in order to develop a type of travel through them.
Interesting. Okay. So speaking of traveling, would you go to Mars?
Yes.
Even if you can't come back?
Indeed, yes.
Indeed. First man on Mars?
That would be amazing.
Sign you up, NASA? Britain? A-okay?
Yep.
Overall, getting back to the Bike-a-Thon itself, the energy in the room today, how does it feel to have so many of your classmates support this cause that's so near and dear to your heart?
It feels amazing, really. I do love it. I'm glad that everybody is here, and I'm very happy that everybody is supporting the cause and donating to all this greatness that's going to come from this.
Well, you're going to do amazing things in the world, Britton. Thanks so much for speaking with us. High five, bud. Thanks. All right, stay tuned. More coming up after the break. Welcome back to the show. Once again, we are on location at Spruce Grove Composite High School for their 12-hour Bike-a-Thon in support of the Alberta Cancer Foundation. And this area of the gym is the Coombs crew. All of our teachers here wearing, as you can see, Calgary Flames red. Now, why are they wearing these colors? Well, for a very special reason. Helen Coombe was a teacher here at Spruce Grove Composite High. There she is right there. She passed away last year from multiple myeloma. And the team in this corner of the gym is specifically raising money for her memory for the Alberta Cancer Foundation. We're going to be speaking with Jeff. Jeff, give us a wave coming up in the show in just a moment about Helen and what an incredible person she was, so stay tuned for that. But first, it's the show before the show at the Edmonton Opera. We are now joined by Jeff Schirmbrucker of the Coombs Crew team here at Spruce Grove Composite High. Tell me about Coombs Crew.
Well, Mrs. Coombs was a very passionate teacher in Spruce Com. She was the department head for several years. And unfortunately, in 2013, she contracted multiple myeloma, which is a cancer of the blood. And she passed away in November. And so we're kind of dedicating this fundraising effort on our behalf for the Social Studies Department for her. So not only was she a passionate teacher, she was also pretty heavily involved in social action. So she had things like Spread the Net to raise money to buy nets for malaria, protection of people in Africa, and those kinds of things. And she passed that kind of legacy on to her students. So we're just doing this for her and for her memory.
What does it mean to the students to specifically have Helen in their hearts this year as they put on this fundraiser?
Well, there's been quite a few number of kids who've been personally upset, and thinking back to Mrs. Coombs' funeral, at her funeral, most of the people there were her students, and so it's a really nice tribute for them to come out and support efforts to try and get rid of cancer and in her memory, and do that in her memory.
When you have students like Britton in the school and teachers like Helen and so many people that are so close to this community that have been touched by cancer, it just goes to show that no one can escape it. It's ubiquitous, it's everywhere, and that's why it's so important for everyone to get behind causes like this one.
Yeah, and our own principal, Dr. Dave Pesic, was also diagnosed, and he's battled it, and so far he's winning. So, it's nice to have those success stories. Certainly, Britton is an inspiration to us. To have kids who've been touched, ask kids in the classroom put their hand up if they've been touched by cancer. It's a lot of kids, and so yeah.
And we are wearing Flames paraphernalia in the Coombs Crew. Tell me about that.
We are. We're not actually Flames fans. I'm an Oilers fan, but in her memory, Mrs. Coombs was from Calgary, and she would come in and wear a bright red Calgary Flames jersey whenever the playoffs were on, or even if the Flames were playing. And so out of respect for her and to her memory, we're all wearing red, and we're all sort of wearing some Flames memorabilia.
Well, Jeff, thank you so much for speaking with us, and congratulations on another terrific Bike-a-Thon.
Thank you so much.
Before we go, here is your on-the-go calendar. And to end the show, we have the senior high girls basketball team, Toon Squad, showing us their moves in their corner as they continue to ramp up the energy for the Bike-a-Thon. Now, if you would like to donate to this amazing cause, again, all the money raised is going to the Alberta Cancer Foundation. You can head to Spruce Grove Composite High's website. On your screen, there's a link to the Bike-a-Thon, easy to donate and help these students raise money. I believe their goal is $60,000, so let's see if we can help them do it. That's it for me. I've been your host, Giesbrecht. We'll see you next time.